What's up, YouTube land? Ziino Gaming here today with the start of Season 2 of my F1 2020 My Team series. So another era begins for Ziino Racing, the second season in Formula 1. So hopefully the car has developed enough over the off-season and we've made the strides in the right areas to start progressing up the grid, and hopefully we can do that. Not too much optimism for now. The car, in terms of performance, is about where it was on the grid compared to last year. Engine power, we're right in the middle of the pack, and then aero and chassis, we're towards the bottom still. So still got a lot of work to do. Unfortunately, I didn't show in this, but with Romain Grosjean did retire from the sport in my series, and to replace him, Haas have signed George Russell. So he's left Williams and the Mercedes backing to go join the Ferrari-powered Haas car, and now also to replace George Russell. That took me a few seconds to think of. I was trying to think who replaced him. Was Nick de Vries. And then also back at Ziino Racing now, we are going to get a major upgrade here for the aero to hopefully progress us in that area, because that's one area where the car lacks. As now we can get into the weekend, and we're looking to just try and score points here. It's my home race, technically the team's home race. I'm the owner, so we need a good result. There's a little bit of a different look to the car. It's not too different, but it is a bit different. There's a red on the halo instead of the blue. We're in blue suits. It's a new season, and let's just see if we can deliver a special result here for our first race of the season, as now we'll jump into our first run here in Q1. Oh, not yet actually. So, but yeah, honestly, just looking forward to the start of the new season, and I think we can really make a lot of strides up the grid this year. I've done a lot of work in terms of the facilities department to hopefully help make things cheaper, less problems, and make the car a lot faster, quicker, and we can really progress through the grid this year and maybe potentially win our first Grand Prix. As now we come here into Q1, soft tyre run, and you got that sun coming down late Arvo here in Australia and Melbourne as we come around the final corner of the Albert Park circuit, as we now head to the finish line, as we come across the line for 1 minute 20.2399. And now here's the start of our second lap, same set of tyres, but unfortunately a little bit of a spin here, so that's not too good, but not a bad, not a decent opening lap. Now here, new set of tyres, end of the session, and I was just preparing the start of my lap, and I didn't realise that Magnussen was that close behind me, and he actually overtakes me just before the start of the lap, so that's really frustrating here. And now we're going to follow Magnussen for the entire lap. We stick with him, and we're going to come through the last corner, and now try and open the throttle up early here as early as we can. We get the understeer and aero effect from the dirty air of Magnussen ahead. Come across the line. He sets a good lap time. We as well do set a good lap time here. Our lap was pretty good, but it's only good enough for 18th place, so we've been knocked out here in Q1 today. As you can see, we do a 1 minute 19.8. Magnussen did a 19.6, and he's in 16th place. He just sneaks through into Q2. Also out is Raikkonen, Russell, Hubert, de Vries, and Latifi. So not a great start to the season. Both cars knocked out in Q1. We are able to beat Russell. 18th place, we'll take it. So I think if we get the strategy right, we could score points. The car isn't feeling too bad this weekend. So well, yeah, we'll just see how it goes. And without further ado, we'll give it over to David Croft and get into the race.
It's finally time once again to begin what promises to be another thrilling season of Formula One action. Pre-season times, subject of so much discussion in recent weeks, mean nothing now, as the cars line up to battle it out for points once again. So let's get this season underway. Welcome to the Australian Grand Prix. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. Its combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners make it a tricky track when it comes to overtakes. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. A new season then, a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice. And they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Albon, Daniel Ricciardo, and Vettel, Leclerc, Ocon, Kvyat, and Sergio Perez. Gasly, Stroll, Carlos Sainz, and Norris, Giovinazzi, Magnussen, Kimi Raikkonen, and the captain, Russell, Hubert, De Vries, and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
Welcome here today, guys, to our home Grand Prix and the start of the second season here for Ziino Racing and the Australian Grand Prix. So hopefully we can have a good one here today. Mercedes have locked out the front row as per usual to start a Formula One season. It wouldn't be any different in any other way. So excitement, you can feel it around everybody here, and I think a soft to medium strategy is what we're going to do today. I can't change that though, to a soft medium, so kind of just have to deal with that. It's a little bit annoying, but we will be doing that here today. So we'll have to just stretch out that soft high stint a little bit, maybe to lap at 11, I'd say. So without further ado, we'll have to get into the start of this Grand Prix, and it's, I think, going to be a very exciting one, if I do say so myself. So yeah, we'll get off the line here and get into it, and hopefully we can just stay out of trouble, have a clean Grand Prix, and I think that will be the best way for us to approach this. So here we go, lining up on the grid here in Melbourne for my home race here. 18th on the grid, Hubert 20th. What can the other Australian, Daniel Ricciardo, do, who has qualified all the way up the order? Here we go, 5 red lights are on here in Melbourne. And let's go for the Australian Grand Prix. And not a bad launch off the line. And now we're getting a good run of it in the second phase of things. We're up alongside Magnussen. We're going to go deep down the inside, up the inside of Norris there. We go over the curb. A little bit of contact there with Magnussen. I believe that is on the outside. Yes, it is. And he gets to run through two. There's the Alpha of Raikkonen on the outside. Went deep on the brakes here on Magnussen. Yes, he brakes a little bit early. And there's more contact there on with Magnussen. Probably 3 wide. Not realising, and we're through up into 16th place here. Now following through ahead is Norris and Giovinazzi. We're very wide there with the understeer. Oh my god, the dirty air can be horrible sometimes. And now we'll see, can we have a look at Norris into 9? No, we're not going to be close enough. Not a great run there. And actually we're going to have a little look, but Norris gives us space, but we are now really hurt our run here on the run through to turn 11 and 12, and now Raikkonen is the one behind us, and can he have a look here on us? No, he can't. So maybe it will just settle down a little bit now. Can Kimi get a run here on us in the 13? We know the hour is strong out of that chicane, but not this time around. And so everything will just calm down a little bit, and we are now here sitting in 16th position, I think, and no chance of going up the inside. Norris into the penultimate corner. We're going to live to fight another day here on the opening lap, as Valtteri Bottas has got the jump on Hamilton here and leads the Grand Prix, the defending world champion, off to a good start here in Australia. As now we're going to skip here to lap 3 in this Grand Prix, and we're following Norris here, and we're going to, for the first time this race, get the use of DRS here on the run to turn 13. And as we move now into 13, we've got Raikkonen still behind us, Giovinazzi ahead of Norris still, and then Racing Point and Stroll. A bit of a train at the minute, but I'm sure that will spread out here. But here, right, you can see we actually get the rear wing message pop up, so I don't think we're going to have DRS. So DRS is going to be unavailable for us to to use at this point of the Grand Prix, which is a bit of a shame. And as you can see, no DRS there on that straight. We're now moving to lap 5, and a bit of action going on ahead as one of the McLarens, that's Sainz, up ahead. He's having a battle with Perez, and they're going side by side through 9 and 10. And there's a few cars looking for a space here into the fast left chicane, and they sorted out. Sainz is clearly ahead. We take out the bollard, and now I think Giovinazzi is having a go on Stroll. Stroll's behind Perez. Yeah, on Perez actually. Now here goes Norris on Stroll. Norris down the inside of Stroll. So everyone's just attacking the Racing Point cars. We're going to follow through and get past Stroll too. And now Norris is behind Checo Perez. So something going on with the Racing Point cars. They're slipping back through the field here. They've been overtaken by Sainz and Giovinazzi. And here now goes Norris. So around the outside of Sergio Perez. And he looks like he's made it stick. Yes, he has. Lando Norris ahead of Perez for 13th place. And now we're on the back of Sergio Perez. And Raikkonen too has got past Lance Stroll. So I don't know what's going on here with the two Racing Point cars. I don't know if they've collided with each other and have damage. But they're both... Maybe they've just got really bad tyre wear, I think, maybe. Look at this. We've got so much more grip and speed. And Sergio Perez is almost pushing him through turn 8. And now we're up the inside for turn 9. So Racing Point cars struggling here early on in this Grand Prix. As we now move to the end of lap 8 and start of lap 9. You can see we still don't have DRS here, but Norris is now, we've finally caught up, back up to Norris, who's caught up to Giovinazzi, and Norris just can't find a way through on Giovinazzi here, and even though he has got DRS, lap 11 we finally get DRS back. It's the first time we get DRS back, but this is also our in-lap. We're going to come in for the pit stop, and I didn't expect Norris or Giovinazzi to stay out this long themselves. I thought they would have come in a lap before, or two maybe even. But they've also decided to play the long game, as well as Stroll has behind. So, yeah, interesting to see how that's all played out, as we're now going to come into the pits and put on the medium compound tyre. I don't want to use the hard tyre. The medium tyre is a much quicker tyre. So, that will be the tyre of choice. There goes Norris. He's in for the hard tyre. Giovinazzi also in for the hard tyre. We're in for the medium. Stroll, curiously, as well, in for the medium tyre. So, a bit of variance between the teams here, and a good stop. But we get released right at just directly ahead of Stroll, who made good time in the pit lane there, and we lose a bit of time there in the pits on release, which is a bit unfortunate. And anyway, moving to lap 13 now, and we're right up behind Norris, who with Giovinazzi right behind Nick de Vries, who's yet to make his first pit stop. He's running the long game, I believe, and now we have DRS here on Norris. Can we make a look maybe here into turn 13, and all we're going to have a little look there is the freeze on the medium tyre. There's a lot of contact there, and we're not able to get past Norris. He just didn't leave us enough space, and it was not really it was a half-hearted move there. And now de Vries peels off into the pits and releases the four of us, really, because Stroll is now in this battle, and Raikkonen's not too far behind as well, so he could maybe very well. We're going to have a look at to Norris in the turn 1. It's not really a good enough braking zone to really have a dive. As Hubert's out of this Grand Prix, we're looking. So that's really disappointing for our teammate out of this Grand Prix. And we were looking good to shape up a move on Norris potentially into turn 3, but a safety car deployed has ruined that chance. And now the field bunches back up here as the start of lap 17 as the restart here. And we don't have the best restart, as it, just being a little bit cautious on the tyres. As now we've got Stroll behind us. I don't need a new strategy here. We know what the strategy is. The safety car probably helps us with our tyre wear in getting to the end of the Grand Prix. And maybe that can just give us that edge over the medium compound runners. But it's just been very, very, very difficult to overtake. And I'm really just... I was waiting for Norris to make the overtake of Giovinazzi. But it just hasn't happened yet. Here we go, lap 18 in this Grand Prix. And you can see it struggling a little bit with the shift there. And almost into the barrier. And now Stroll's got a run on us here, and we're just about to fend off from that. And sometimes my shifter does play up, and as you can see, that could have cost us, because it just distracted me, and I almost went off the track. But now, next lap, can we have a go at Lando Norris? He's slow on the apex of 3, and I just got nothing. I can't do anything with it. I couldn't get up the inside for 4. I didn't have enough of an overlap run, but Norris can't find a way past Giovinazzi in that Ferrari-powered Alfa Romeo. This is getting really frustrating. And we're now here on lap 20 in this Grand Prix. And can we have a look here? Potentially we're a bit wide through 11 and not a great run through 12. And now Stroll's all over us. We really, a late defensive move there. That was really late, but we just about hold on to Stroll and he doesn't put us into the barrier. That was really lucky there. And now next lap 21, we're a little bit too far back from Norris. Stroll looking to attack us here, and we're a bit deep into the corner, but we just about pulled up. And oh my god, that was a hairy moment there. Almost put it into the barrier like Raikkonen did back in 2008, I believe. I think it was that year. No, not 2008. 2009 actually, I think. But geez, that was not very comfortable. But we're now moving on to lap 24, and we've caught back up with the pack, and Norris still just can't find a way past Giovinazzi. It's unbelievable. I sound like a broken record. And here we go on Stroll. Maybe if we can get the run, we'll stick the nose up there, and he leaves us the space too. So we get past Lance Stroll at turn 4. Brilliant move there. And I found a weakness of the air. I was a lot stronger in the mid-corner through turn 3. And I realised if I got a good enough run, I could stick the nose up in the turn 4, and Stroll left us the space. And we didn't need a second invitation for it. So there's the move, job done. Back here, as now we need to get back up to Lando Norris, and maybe hopefully we can do the same thing. But a virtual safety car has been deployed here. A virtual safety car has been deployed. And I wonder why. And actually there's a Mercedes. Oh, that's Lewis Hamilton in the gravel at turn 12. So something's gone on here, and now we'll bring it to you here on the replay. And Lewis Hamilton, you can see he has a problem. He's slowing here, Lewis Hamilton. So he's going through very slowly here, and cars overtaking the AlphaTauri held up a little bit. Here comes Leclerc, and oh my god, that's an almighty accident. Huge accident there for Hamilton. And here's the onboard here for Leclerc, and oh, that's very fast, and Leclerc couldn't do a better job at avoiding him, I guess. And we now restart here on lap 25. And we're into 12th place here. And this battle is all of a sudden for 1 point with Giovinazzi in 10th place, with Hamilton out of the race. Leclerc into the pits for repairs. And he wasn't having a great race anyway. You could see he wasn't exactly running in that top 6 battle as he probably should be. He was behind a few other cars in the midfield fight. As we now here on lap 25. Oh my god, we've done it through 12. Oh, we've just kept it out of the wall there. Unbelievable scare. And it's just wow. And oh my god, we almost do it again with a bit of overheated tyres. We're just going to calm it down. We're back to 13th place here, and we move here to lap 27, and this is our best lap of the Grand Prix we're putting in here. And there you go, fastest lap from us in the Grand Prix. And once again, lap 28, we do the same thing, put in our best lap. I'm pushing as hard as I can to try catch up, to get back in the fight for a point, but this is now the last lap of the Grand Prix. It doesn't look like we're going to score points here today at our home race for the season debut. Can we have anything? No, it doesn't look like we've got anything left in the tank. Valtteri Bottas wins the Grand Prix. We're really using up our energy here, but unfortunately it's going to be a 13th place by the looks of it, with Valtteri Bottas winning the season opener here in Melbourne. So a fantastic job by him here today, and we're going to come across the line for a 13th place finish to our home Grand Prix.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, the safety car completely changed the race, didn't it? It's hard to say exactly what would have happened without it, but there's no question that they came out of that situation in a good position.
For an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. After today's performance, Valtteri Bottas secures the championship lead. Now, let's discuss, Ants. Who would you say is a contender for driver of the day?
I have to give it to the captain. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Red Bull take over as championship leaders. Well, Ants, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Wow, so that was a bit of a bore fest in terms of action, but I definitely did my best to try and make it entertaining with a lot of mistakes. And that Hamilton incident was just so weird, but in the end, it's 13th place here today. I guess Lewis just had a technical issue, and I don't know why the AI's awareness is so bad in those situations, why Leclerc has to go through their full throttle. I don't get it, but not a great day for our team with a 13th, no points, and Hubert doesn't finish the Grand Prix, which is probably going to cost us the 100 lap for the weekend's objective, which is a bit of a shame. But there's not much we can really do about that, and it's out of our control. Bottas wins the first Grand Prix of the year, and Albon holds on for a second place finish ahead of his teammate Verstappen, so brilliant result for Alexander Albon, and Red Bull actually lead the Constructors' Championship. We'll see how long they can hold on to that for, and if Verstappen and Albon can pull off some magic. But they have closed the gap to Mercedes this year. It is a little bit closer, and Red Bull are the second quickest car on paper, not Ferrari. So that's very interesting. So they obviously developed well over the winter break, did Red Bull. And we've got a new rivalry before this Grand Prix. It was Lando Norris. It was either between the two Red Bulls or the two McLarens. So I went with Lando as he bit of a higher acclaim level than his teammate Sainz. But yeah, that was not the best result for us. Got to qualify a little bit better, I think. And Bahrain, probably not one of my strong tracks for round 2. So we'll probably do the best we can there, and then we'll see how we go in the future. So that's been the lot for today, guys. I hope you all really enjoyed it, as I thought it was a entertaining race. I honestly still don't know why the racing points were so slow in the early phase of the Grand Prix. Maybe they haven't developed their tyre wear. I'm not too sure. But yeah,
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors is cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
so now we're back in the facility, and before we get to the end of this episode, we'll assign here our activity. But we've got some money in the bank, and we've got a little bit of resource points, not too many, 414, but I don't think we're going to be able to use those. But we've got 9 million in the bank, and I think we can definitely use it to our advantage here in one of the department areas. And I was looking here at the powertrain, and I saw immediately the build time is on level 1, so we'll get that straight away up to level 2 for $5 million. I think that's a smart investment. And when I get another, after the next race, when I get another 5 million, I'll probably do the same for the chassis. So yeah, that's been today's episode, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please leave a like, subscribe for the channel for plenty more F1 2020 content. There'll be some league racing videos over the next couple of days, and then we'll get out the Bahrain race. So yeah, that's been the lot today, and I'll see you for the next episode. Goodbye.